welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On The Rise Media Studio with me, your host Giles Thomas, joined by my co-host AJ, all the way from Norway. AJ, why is this episode so special?
First time ever in the studio. We have 2 Olympia champions coming to On The Rise Media Studio, and it's an honor that you guys are our first ever studio guest. I don't think we could have started off with any better guests than 2 current Olympia and Arnold Classic champions, because you won the last Arnold Classic that wasn't a 212. Correct. Kamal Elgargni and Brandon Curry.
I think we need to give him a round of applause. Yeah, come on, guys, come on. Thank you.
So thank you. So Brandon, is this your first time in the UK, by the way, or how many times have you been to the UK?
I've been to the UK multiple times, so it's definitely not my first time. I think the last time I was in the UK though was maybe Body Power.
Yeah, I think you've been to Body Power.
Yeah,
before,
that's the last time I was in the UK. Or that was around the Generation Iron premiere.
A long time ago now.
Rich Piana. He was still with us. Maybe it's 2 or 3 years ago.
2000, and I think the first time I remember you coming to the UK was back in 2011. That was really the first time I met you. Do you remember you were doing a UK tour, and do you remember with Neil Hill at the time?
Right. I was with Neil. I came to the UK, trained in Tim B. While I was there at his dungeon, just getting ready for, I guess, what preparation was that? Was that for the Olympia? Because I did the Olympia that year.
That was 2010, 2011. I think it was 2011 because that was the year you got 8th at the Olympia.
At the Olympia, yes. So came out here went through one of Neil's camps, put me through some of that hardcore UK training there. A lot of screaming and spitting, vibrato, Yeah. But it's intense. I did enjoy training with Neil. He definitely, likes to push in the gym and get everything out of you. So it was some good times. I was a young man back then. I remember doing the cardio around Timby, trying to keep up with Neil.
On the beach.
Yeah, we walked out on the beach, walked out across the city. I mean, after those sessions, I had sores on my ankles, from my shoes rubbing so much.
Wow.
Trying to keep up with Neil.
How long were you with Neil Hill?
I think we had to be together for maybe a few seasons, I believe, or maybe a season and a half, I think. Yeah. But it was pretty much before he was doing he started doing a lot of work in India with training a lot of people there, and I think that's when we parted ways a little after that. But it was right after I left. Right around my pro debut, he came in for the rescue in that situation, and helped me out there. So I think it was about a couple seasons we were together, 2010, 2011, for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, and Kamal, obviously you've been in the UK since what year? 97, 98.
97, 98.
You had a brief fight. Obviously moved to Qatar from 2003 to 2014.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And then you moved back to the UK, and now you have. Do you want to tell us about your gym and everything you do in the UK?
Yeah, I mean, after I moved back, I moved to Qatar, stayed there, like we said, representing Qatar and competing for them. So I came back here 2014, and I started my gyms. After I owned a few gyms back home in Libya. So I see. Really, I need a good gym after training. Good gyms back in Qatar and that kind of Middle East. And the gym I used to train Northampton Better Bodies gym, and it's really like the guy, he wants to sell a gym, so it's a good location, it's good for me. So I bought that gym from him and refurbished the whole lot the way I want it. So to keep going, since then I've been keep going.
Do you feel like you're British or you're from Libya?
Well, I am from Libya. This is the mother, which is what I'm from, but to be honest, I grow as a bodybuilder and I've been known as a British, which is I'm from England. So this is when they knew, I'll say, I'm both.
You're both?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a bodybuilding show. That means we got to talk some bodybuilding.
Yep.
First off, we are how many weeks away now from the Arnold Classic?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah, about 4 weeks now. Yeah, exactly.
Is it a little bit weird feeling not doing the Arnold Classic this year, Brandon, for you?
No, it's quite a relief, actually. I don't think it's weird at all. I did what I wanted to do at the Arnold last year, which is finally captured that title. I had Brazil, I had Australia, and I felt like that one's the one I needed to grab. So I was able to do that, and didn't come out with the Olympia win. So as far as this year, I was focused on the Olympia. Of course, I will be at the Arnold Classic because that's kind of like the catalyst to my off-season preparation. Seeing those guys on stage, seeing those guys battle it out, seeing what they bring, is going to just provide a lot of motivation for me as far as seeing those guys come in to kind of get me going and in the trenches and really getting that mindset, that competitive mindset. So I will be there watching these guys battle it out, looking for the improvements and the changes. So
kind of cool, isn't it? Sat there as the kind of the defending or the reigning champion, what's it going to be like watching the Arnold Classic as the champion?
I mean, it's going to be exciting because it's just going to seem like a moment I was just there on the stage. And I know that mindset for the Arnold, man, that was a good mindset for me. I was number one, the first competitor out on stage, and I wanted to come out and make the impact that they didn't need to see anybody else. That was my mind frame going onto the stage. I was like coming out as the champ, already. So it was a good show for me, good memory. So it's going to be good back in that nostalgic feeling, but also rooting my fellow comrades on stage and just seeing what they bring. I know Big Ramy is going to be back on the stage. It's going to be interesting. William, of course, he's won that title, and he's coming back with a vengeance this year. So it's going to be good to see him on the stage. And you got Nathan Diasha. He's coming back to make an impression. I think it's his first Arnold Classic appearance, I believe.
Nathan's,
yes.
Yeah, so he's back in Kuwait training, so I'm going to see what's going on with that. With Sergio Olivia working with Chris Cormier. That's going to be an interesting, duo combination there to see what they bring to the table. And then we have Patrick Moore coming off a good showing at the Olympia, which is, we're going to see how much changes he can make in this brief time of off time in between shows, and he's got a lot of hype behind him, a lot of expectations. So let's see what that does to his mentality. Training with Phil Heath, I think he was a week ago.
You had this. What was it again? You had a training camp. Yeah.
So they got some tricks up their sleeve. So maybe he's learning a little bit from Phil and see what he brings with that. You got Steve, who was at my event this past weekend. Kuko, looking big, strong.
Looking
as a
very
horse.
big.
He keeps improving from year to year. And then we got the physique class because I know I'll speak of Andre Ferguson at the event as well.
Andre Ferguson versus Kaiki, Carlos de Oliveira, and that other Brandon Hickson.
Henderson.
Henderson.
Yeah,
Do you follow men's physique, Kamal, by the way?
Well, I like, but not really much. I do like their physiques. I like the physiques, like what they bring in. Really, I think it's cool and nice. Yeah, but I don't really follow much.
Okay. Kamal, you've got kind of sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying I kind of follow the guys. Kind of had a contact. I was seeing Brendan in LA at the Fit Expo. And then, of course, Andre was at my event this past weekend. So, just seeing these guys in person, you kind of keep up with the loop. And they are definitely one of the more interesting groups backstage.
Andre brings the energy.
Yeah, well,
in a good way.
They're very they have conversations backstage, and they have high energy backstage. We even called last Arnold. They were discussing leg training, and boss bodybuilders sitting there listening, trying to get some tips.
Well, I don't think you guys need it from them, but yeah.
But yeah, they're very interesting. Very good personalities in the crowd. So when they get together, it's either drama or it's a lot of energy, good energy, guys feeding off each other, conversating about any and everything. So keep it live backstage.
So do we see the? Are you guys in agreement that the Arnold is between William Bonac and Big Ramy? Who have you got?
Definitely, those two are definitely the front runners. In my opinion, it's a big question mark with Big Ramy. I've seen some videos of him, looking very, very, very well. Like he's putting it together. He looks like he's on track with his conditioning. Hasn't gotten too big in the off season. Of course, it's just going to be a matter of how good everything flows. Because we're seeing extremities, we've seen the arms, we've seen the legs, but what does the midsection look like? I know he was getting a little wide in the waist. So how's he doing? What is he doing to bring that together? And it'll be enough to overcome William Bonac with some of that freaky muscularity. That balloonist muscle, if William keeps everything intact and he doesn't try to bring too much size and he brings that conditioning he's known for, he's always dangerous, always dangerous.
Kamal, what about you? If there's William Bonac, Big Ramy, can you give us two names that has the potential to win the Arnold Classic other than them two?
That's a good question.
In your opinion?
Well, I mean, definitely they are both they are the favorites for this coming Arnold.
Dexter, Diasha, Kukla, Sergio.
Cedric.
Well,
Cedric,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean
Cedric
Cedric, we know
I feel like we've
Cedric.
missed some names.
Cedric, I mean, he's always
Michael
good. He
Baker.
always had the potential to be, but I don't know. He's had some issues to bring the condition.
Yeah.
If Cedric brings it all in, he's the man. Definitely, I will think he's the favorite. If he brings,
You think he could win it?
oh yeah, definitely.
Over Rami, William?
Oh,
his
yeah.
best?
Yeah, he's proven he can win that show.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of where his head is, his mentality. He's with a new company now, and so I don't know how that's changing his view on what he's gonna bring and the support. I don't know how different it is for him, but I know he normally shows up at the Arnold more so than the Olympia. So this is normally his show,
Yeah.
and he's one of Arnold's favorites, as he says. So that'd be interesting. But also Dexter Jackson, I was with him training a few weeks ago in LA, and Dexter's still running on all cylinders. He seems pretty healthy, and Dexter's always going to come, trying to bring the surprise. Anybody slipping, he's trying to catch them. So, this is an interesting show. So let's see how these guys fare as far as early. Are they going to bring the conditioner early this year? I'm hoping they bring the condition early this year. I'm hoping they all peak very early. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, I did see with Dexter. I don't know, guys, if you've seen it, but I know. Okay, with his age now, he's getting up to 51 or 52. I noticed more. The rest of his physique still looks good, but I think his midsections. I think he looked a bit.
What, bloated or blurry?
I don't know. It
thicker?
looks thicker, and I don't know. It doesn't look as Dexter's
Right. Okay.
midsection. To be honest, I did see some recent pictures of him. It is not really. That's what we
It's
want.
not going to be a surprise if his physique is starting to decline, but do you think he could really pull it out the bag for the Arnold? Do you think he could?
It's going to be difficult. If Rami and William they bring their best, I don't think.
Well, one of the things I know about Dexter is he's definitely a problem solver. That's the reason why he's maintained such a long career. So I know he's been adamant about trying to figure out, what's going on with the midsection, and him and Charles, of course, putting their head together trying to resolve this issue. Because, the same thing that happened with the legs from last year at the Arnold, the lack of separation. We started to see the decline, maybe in some size. And then for the Olympia, he was able to problem solve and bring it back, to where to the. So I'm thinking he's doing the same thing for the midsection. They're trying to really. I know he's training abs now as well. I think we discussed some things about digestive enzymes and stuff before in some conversations. So I know he's doing everything he can to kind of troubleshoot and just keep that longevity that he's always had.
I've seen Dexter sometimes have bad distension at the Arnold that he doesn't seem to have at the Olympia. I think when he won it, the year he won it in 2013, he had quite bad distension. I don't know whether it's. Do you think maybe it's the fact that it's on a one day, the Arnold? In the Olympia's on 2 days, he seems to be different. He never seems.
I know the load. I know the load affects Dexter. I know he came in a little flat for the prejudging at the Olympia because he didn't load enough and he was a little bit fuller and sharper for the finals. So I think that with the digestion, I think it depends on how Georgia and whatever they load him. If he loads a little bit too late, he can suffer from the distension. If he loads early and he's nice and full early, then he doesn't have that problem. So it's all about that timing, I think, with Dexter when it comes to that issue.
One thing that makes me sad, and a lot of bodybuilding fans worldwide, is that we have the current Arnold Classic champion of 2018 here in the 212 class, who did obviously one of the most. It was shocking, not for Giles and for people who follow your career, but for other people when you won the Arnold Classic. It was one of the greatest wins in IBB Pro history.
Yeah,
for people who didn't know your past. Exactly. For people who know your past, they expected it. But the sad news is that they took away the class. What's your what can we do to get? Is there any discussions amongst the 212 pros to get it back? Is there any talks of, because I, as a bodybuilding fan, we support bikini and all this, but to have bikini at the Arnold Classic and not the 212 class, I don't even have words for how lame that is for bodybuilding fans. Is there any discussion with Mr. What's the name of the? Is there any discussions, or are the 212 guys fighting it together? Are there any emails sent, or is there any news on that?
Well, to be honest, first of all, we need to know why they took it off. So I don't think nobody knows why they took it off. So I mean, 212 is one of the really successful like classes to be there in every show, and it's growing up, and you got really nice like good guys in there. But we don't know why.
I haven't. I've spoken to some people on the committee, of course, about why. Basically, you know, the Arnold show is an invitation-only show, right? So basically, you have to put in your request to compete in the Arnold Classic, right? Yeah. What they struggled with is participation. Guys in the 212 class not showing up to want to compete, submitting their applications to compete in this class. So if they don't have enough you know, because when you competed it wasn't a lot of guys. There was wasn't a lot of guys that showed up. So it's about the guys just showing up, you know, submitting their applications and to be invited. Yeah. If they don't submit, how are they going to be invited? That was the issue that I heard discussed.
Yeah, you're right. Because I think that's the guys why they're not doing it, because of the difference of the winning prize money. So it's from, I don't know, the open.
What's the prize money for 212?
It's 22,000, 21,000.
And in the open it was 150.
Yeah. 150. Wow. That's a big gap, and we do exactly the same things what we do, and that's much different. So maybe these guys, that's why they're not doing it. So, for example, for me, when I done it, I want to do it not because of money. I want to own the title, and it's not prestige. Many. Yeah, it's not many guys they go for money. It depends, but it is. I mean, we had the top 5 was a really tough top 5. I mean, the two, maybe that Korean guy, and I don't know who's come 7th or whatever, but the top 5, they were really like all.
Steve Henry was 5th.
Big names. Yeah.
Champ Dixon was 2nd.
Jose Raymond was 4th. Samir Trudy was
3rd. Yeah.
And then Charles the Tank Dixon was 2nd.
Yeah, 2nd. Yeah. So it's like it's a good lineup. So the top 5 it's quite good. So but it's the prize money.
But it's not better than other 212 shows. So I don't understand why the guys aren't putting their applications forward. Or do you think they just want to qualify for the Olympia and they would rather go and do like a smaller show?
Well, to be honest, Arnold's always Arnold, isn't it? It's a big show. It's a really nice to win, and it's. I think it's the atmosphere and the package of the Arnold Classic show. It's a really good show to be. But probably this is the only reason why guys don't want to compete, because of the prize money. I think that's because the prize money of the 212 is really poor.
I know, but I'm saying it's really poor in the sort of the smaller shows, which the guys seem to be doing, but they don't want to seem to come forward for the Arnold if there's only.
Well, the smaller shows is all like what I say is easy to win. I think.
That's what I'm saying, to qualify.
Yeah, to qualify.
I think what you saw. How many years was it running in Arnold?
2 years.
2 years, and you know you kind of reached the same until you came along.
Yeah.
Was it longer than that?
Because Flex won it 20.
How long has it been running?
Yeah,
it's been running for a long time. Yeah,
okay.
Been running for a good
So what I'm saying is, like, until you came along, it was always a similar narrative. You know, if Flex entered it, he was going to be the champion. You know, you did Jose Raymond, of course, was, you know, it's battle between him and David Henry. So what I'm thinking is some of the new guys that was entering the 212 class was kind of intimidated by what they had seen previously at the Arnold lineup, and they kind of was holding back, you know. When you, of course, you know, you were definitely capitalized, being a new face, not intimidated by these guys. Of course, you're a veteran in our sport. A lot of people weren't aware of you, but
were you aware of Kamal, by the way?
You know, I was aware of Kamal, but I wasn't aware of the deep history of wins and champions. You know, I was aware, but not aware of the long list of titles you know. So it was a surprise to me when I started to investigate. You know. How many people you have competed against, you know, and how many people you've beat. So it's very impressive, you know, very impressive resume.
Can you give us our 10 best wins? 10 best wins. Okay, that's too many.
Too many.
5 best.
Three.
3 best wins outside of the Pro League.
Outside of the Pro League?
Yeah.
Well, no, you mean like the Olympia and the Arnold?
No, his 3 best wins in his career as an amateur.
Okay, well,
as an amateur?
Yeah.
Well, I think the best one was the best one, I'll say the Asian Games in Qatar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because 2006 Qatar they held the Asian Olympic Games, and bodybuilding took part of it. That's what the reason they invited me to Qatar for that. So before that 4 years, it was 2003, and so to be of one of their team and to represent Qatar to because they knew, because they holding it and they're trying to, because we are an Olympic sport, so that's an Olympic sport, Olympic Games, Asian Olympic Games, so we're there and I won that. So it's so big, and the atmosphere before and the preparation, the whole country is like they looking at you to bring in like medals, because we won 2 gold medals. I won my 85 kilos, and Ali Tabrizi, the guy from Iran, he won the 90 kilos, and then we got silver from Jassim Abdullah, he's originally Qatari. So we got 3 medals. Them 3 medals made Qatar to be the first one in the Middle East and in the Arab countries.
In the rankings?
In the rankings, yes.
Okay,
yeah. So these 3 medals made a lot of... So we looked as everybody. I remember like they had a massive picture of me of Ramada 5-star hotel from the top to the bottom.
Wow.
It was big. I mean, it's like they kept it there for nearly 3 months, and everybody looking into my picture. Yeah, that's, I think this is the most show for me. Actually, second one, which is the only time I represented Libya back at the 2013 when I won 5 gold medals for them. So 2013 represented back to Libya, because after I stopped my contract, I did the Mediterranean championship, the IFB Mediterranean championship. So I won my class, and I did the masters as well the same day, because I'm over 40. Did the masters?
No.
Yes, I won the masters, and I won the overall of the show. So I got 3 gold medals, and I won the world champion that year as well, 2013 at the it was in Morocco, and then I won the Arab championship as well. So that year, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's 2 years. Yeah, that's 2 years. That's the most. I think that's the most biggest as an amateur for me, I think.
So what about you, Brandon?
What's up?
How do we restructure this question?
Yeah,
And I wish
Let's take 2019 out of it.
before you answer, I wish bodybuilding around in the UK, Norway it's dead of course, but in the UK, in America, I don't know, but I've seen, for instance, when I saw Sean Roden won at the Gold's Gym, there was no celebration, there was no band, there was no. I'm saying they celebrated, but I'm just saying that type of reception, that's what we want to see.
Yeah, that's more national. National celebrate. Representation.
We want that in the UK, in America, and.
Do you think that's why Kuwait has kind of become the new kind of hub of bodybuilding, I think, Brandon?
Because
of the the support in the Middle East for bodybuilding, and the kind of like you've had when you were with Qatar and the government contracts and stuff like that. Do you think that's why?
It is. We do get a lot of, especially like, I don't know, Middle East. Yes, definitely the Gulf regime there, because with the experience with Qatar, what I've been there, we get like support from the governments, because when we as an amateur, like when you winning the shows and you like 3 top medals, like gold, silver, and bronze. Yeah. So on every medal, there's a prize money. So when you win the gold medal, for example, Qatar, like when you won the world champion, the prize money for that $150,000 plus all your expenses being paid. If you are with a Qatar team and you're doing well, you make more money than the professional. Really, as an amateur, and it's everything is being paid for. Everything. You're just there, train, and they treat you like really pro. And then when you win, the celebration they do after the party and everything, it goes everywhere. All the newspaper, like the TV, and it's really big, really big.
I think Bader Budai is definitely responsible for the acceleration of the sport in Kuwait, just through his gyms. He has multiple gyms in Kuwait. He's created an environment that caters to the bodybuilding atmosphere, and he did a good job of welcoming bringing some top-notch bodybuilders to the area to create excitement. I think in the initial gyms, he even created training sections, mapped out for each bodybuilder's favorite pieces of machinery. At one point, I remember seeing that. I wasn't in Kuwait yet, but I remember seeing that. So he kind of teased this bodybuilding world to these guys in Kuwait, and giving them the inspiration and the desire to pursue this sport. Just through his own interest, his own personal love for the sport, And then when you get guys like Rolly coming out, and Nathan coming up through there, Big Rami coming up through there, and then guys like myself coming through that, and it continues to feed the atmosphere. So that environment and that desire to know you can come to a place like this and win and be successful is kind of the catalyst for what they've been doing there. But there's strong culture there.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, I know because before even bodybuilding started to grow, and
was it about 2010? Because I remember when I heard that he said he was going to bring Ronnie Coleman over, and everyone went no. In his area, it says he won't do it, and then he did it, and then it kind of got attention, and then he brought Dennis Wolf, Dennis James, Dexter Jackson. Because I remember Kevin Horton went over and he said that the guys really got looked after, and he could see that this was going to grow. That was about 2010.
I think before that.
Really?
Before.
Well, he had just the one or the two gyms, wasn't it?
No, he had the first gym, and then he brought Dennis. When he started going really big, after he brought Dennis James, that's when it started going really big. And then Dennis James, actually, when that's Rami used to just be as a working there as a train, and then
He's got a working shop.
Working shop. So Rami went the first show he did. I think he did the Qatar Golden Cup 2010, which is I haven't competed in that show. So Badr Buddha used to bring a team every year to Qatar Golden Cup because Qatar Golden Cup used to be the biggest amateur show in the world because of the prize money. We used to get about 6-7 world champion. They come and compete because of the prize money. It's 30,000 to 40,000, I think.
So little publicity around it.
That's why he's driving the Ferrari outside.
Yeah, it's a very big prize money. They're very, very well organized, and you get it's an open class, just one class. Yeah. It's about 40 to 50 competitors. Yes, whoa. And the top 15, they get prize money. Yes, it's the top 15. Sometimes what they do, all the competitors they came, they go back with money. The lowest one after the top 15. They get $1,000 each.
So is this show still running?
No, it's stopped now. The federation is completely stopped as a bodybuilding. There is some issues, some rumors. I don't know because of the football 2022 football. So they are supporting
World Cup.
And against the doping and all whatever. We don't want to talk about that. So they stopped. They gave us. So they stopped all that. But when Badr Buddha took over, and he came into the market, and he did a great job, and he really changed a lot. So he's definitely brought a lot to the Middle East, and now, as we know, everybody's dream to go to train in oxygen gyms.
Who's the newest guys to come to oxygen? Is it Jeremy Buendia and there's some other guys?
Mark
coming
Hector.
Out?
I know Jeremy.
Mark Hector arrived today.
Yeah, he arrived today. I know Jeremy's expected to come out and prepare for the Olympia with my coach Abdullah, but. There's a lot of guys that come to Kuwait that you haven't really kept an eye on, and they just there just to work, and they may pop out of the woodworks and everybody knows their name. There's some recent guys that are coming up, and I see them with contracts, and they've been training in Kuwait for years, and they now have contracts, and they have made a name and representation for themselves.
Just under the radar.
Yeah, under the radar. So and it's just. I guess it's a hot market, and everybody has their eyes in that vicinity, especially for the Middle East market. So it's a good place to be for bodybuilders that are inspiring to be seen, and they want to work hard. And it's really the hard work that's going to separate you from and you have to. And when you go there, you have to go there with that mindset. So if you don't have that mindset, you're not going to survive.
Exactly.
So say you've been away for a few months and you go to Kuwait. Do they ease you in, or they just it's going to be flat out from day one? Because you're taking your training to a whole new level, everything. Do you literally, as soon as you get there, that you hit the ground running?
You hit the ground running in a sense because it's a sense of urgency, but your coach is going to adapt to you. They're always going to adapt to you. They're going to push you, so you're going to come there and you're going to be pushed. So beyond, within reason, where they think they can push you. So that's always the environment that you're going to be preparing yourself for, to really, really work and be pushed beyond your comfort zone. But they're not going to be stupid about it. Some guys, I've seen guys come, they may not be accustomed to the work, but I'm there to say, you can do this, encourage and push, because it's not beyond their reach. It's just out of their comfort zone, in a sense. And, I've been there. I've been there and having to, make sure I adapt. But the thing about that environment is you work hard, you push yourself, but you have plenty of time to recover. Wow. You have plenty of time to, take care of yourself and relax and regroup for the next onslaught, the next session.
What do you like to do when you are recovering? Do you just bring your family and Skype them, or do you just
it's a matter of need to nap, need to sleep. You need to use the whirlpools or the saunas, or nice. Or relax in the spa area, and then of course catching them with the family is definitely a priority. Yeah. Those are the things that you're gonna center around. It's really centered around recovery. So, maybe the guys are gonna go out, hang out. If I'm just exhausted and I need to sleep and rest, and I say, okay, guys, I'm going to stay in for the day. I need to rest. I need to catch up on my sleep. It's all good. But if I'm feeling good, I want to hang out and eat, chill with the guys, whatever it may be. You go hang out, go chill, and get some social time. But
say social time because we interviewed you on Global Muscle and you were in the restaurant. That seems like there's a restaurant, isn't there, next to with all the clean food? Is that where everyone hangs out? Or?
Well, a cafe is one place. Guys gather and chill before they get their training or after their training is very, very common. And then we have the office there. We can go to Batter's restaurant and hang out as well. Or Oscar. Ahmed Oscar has a restaurant as well. You can go hang out there. Very good food. So it's a lot of places that we can go and just kind of hang. And, the guys, kind of group together like brothers. And we eat, we chat, bodybuilding, and, and just kind of just hang. It's just a camaraderie there. But if not, you'll be in your room catching up with the family, making sure you're getting your meals, and making sure you're getting your sleep.
And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On The Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas, joined by my co-host, AJ, all the way from Norway. Who are we joined by, AJ?
2019 Female Bodybuilder of the Year, Helle Trevino.
Helle Trevino.
The champ is in the building.
By way of California.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Hey, what's up, AJ? Giles, how are you?
You're glowing.
Yes.
I am feeling great because I got a package in the door.
Oh!
I've been on vacation in Barbados.
We saw.
And I know
jealous.
you guys sent me something, and I had someone pick up my packages while I was on vacation, and I haven't opened it yet.
And one thing, the spelling is some Indian guy who did it, so he screwed it up. But it's a thought that counts.
Is that Global?
Okay, I'm excited. So I thought I would just open it here with you on camera.
This is so unexpected.
This is so unexpected.
I mean, it has not been opened yet.
What's
so
going
I
on?
don't know what it is.
Hang on a minute, AJ. What are you double?
It's an award of some sort.
It's a nude picture of Giles.
Oh yeah. Return to sender. Wow. It's
nice.
another bubble wrap. Hey, that's nice.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So it says Global Muscle Female Bodybuilder of the Year 2019, Helle Trevino.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
The champ is in the building.
And when you go back to Barbados, you can drink margaritas out of it.
It was actually rum punch.
Oh, okay, rum punch. Okay.
That's like their traditional drink. Lots of rum punches.
We wanted to give you just a little bit of a visual award. Was that what you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. To that we follow bodybuilding closely 2019, and there was nobody else who deserved it, Helle. And we're honored to give it to you. And next year we hope we can put some cash prizes into these awards as well.
Yeah.
But this is a big.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So awesome year for you. Awesome year for you.
Yep.
For sure. I won the award as the Female Bodybuilder of the Year on 2 other sites as well.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very happy and grateful that it's been an awesome year, and I feel very blessed.
Tell us about 2020. What's the plans?
The plans.
Yes.
I can't reveal all the plans. But,
Yeah, tell them all.
Just a little bit of the
No, give it all the details.
I'm
Okay.
working on a new and better physique.
Mm.
Not new. I mean, same physique, just with improvements.
Yeah.
So I liked the flow I had last year. I liked, my shapes. I just want to enhance it.
Okay.
Get bigger.
Keep the same, come in the same conditioning, just with more shape, even more shape.
AJ, that was some crazy conditioning last year Helle brought.
One of the best. Oh, it was.
The front double bicep, the angle, it's classic.
Because
Yeah,
when we
beautiful.
see you in off season, you look good, but you're not as standout as on stage. But that on stage is like amazing transform. Like it's truly that transformation that takes a lot of sacrifice, I would imagine, to get that type of transfer on stage, huh?
That takes time. I mean, of course, off season is it's a different look. It's I got to eat a lot. I got to train a lot. I can't be too lean. You don't build enough if you don't eat enough. I mean, the craziest and most impressive look is, I think, always the stage look, especially the more shredded you are and you see every little fiber, you see every, I mean, it's got to be one of the most impressive looks ever when you're really, so of course, season is just rounder. It's like just kind of little fatter and a little, that's like, I see this sport very much as like an artwork. I'm building the sculpture. So right now I'm in the workshop and I'm molding and I'm chiseling and it's all dusty and it's, people might not really see what it is yet, but
we see some upper pec action there anyway, so it's working.
Everybody will see what it is. So I'm very excited for this year. It's going to be, I predict this year to probably be one of the most competitive and hardest years in history of female bodybuilding.
Big time.
In history, that's big words. In history.
I think
It's going to be a lot of names in the show. It's going to be a lot of people coming from nowhere. A lot of, really talented newbies are coming up. The sport is growing, which is great. I see all the time on Instagram, new girls, thick girls, big girls, and I'm like, where the heck did she come from?
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to see how the sport is growing, and that's also been my goal as an ambassador for the sport to just, show the world what I love, show what a dope sport it is. I mean, I think this sport is lit. It's just, it's a cool lifestyle. You learn a lot about yourself, about discipline, about consistency, perseverance. You get to get such a strong mind. It's like when you do this sport, I'll say life in general gets easier, because if you can go through maybe a 6-7 month competition prep and it can endure being on no carbs or low carbs and do 2-3 hours of cardio a day and training and posing practice. It's a lot of stress to be able to handle a consistency like this, because this is not 3 times a week. This is 24 hours a day. And manage to go through that. It's like everything else in life is a little bit, you can reference to something. You challenged yourself already, and you overcame yourself, because there's a lot of times in prep where you feel like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is just, I feel like crap. I don't even feel good. Why am I doing this? Why am I starving myself? My body is hurting. And you're still like, oh, you got to pull yourself together, man. You can't be sitting here and crying like that. I mean, we all have that mental talk in our heads all day, every day. And you got to control your emotions. You got to control your thoughts. And you got to be able to be a productive athlete. And in order to be that, you have to make sure that your self-talk is on point, because you can talk yourself out of something, or you can talk yourself into something. And I think it's so interesting, this whole sport with the mental game, the physical game. It's not just about performing in the gym, which is also, I mean, the sport is the gym, basically. It's like, it's a lot of hard training. You got to push the weights. I mean, you got to try and get stronger and try and get techniques and all that. But then it's also the aesthetics. It's also an art form. So I feel like there are so many things. You're not going to go on stage and perform something and lift something, which is basically what you practice, but you're actually molding while you're training. So it's a mental challenge. It makes you grow personally, personal growth. It's an art form, and it's a sport.
Back to these plans for 2020. You didn't answer my question. Come on, Helle, don't
That
keep
beautiful speech.
Do not keep. Yeah, but I'm just thinking she didn't answer my question.
I said I'm gonna bring a better package. I feel also I have an extra ace up my sleeve this year, and of course I can't tell you what that is.
Teasing her, Stager. Come on, Helle, stop trolling.
I feel like I have something in my hand that's gonna really bring me to the next level. So
Okay.
I'm working on a better physique.
It's not that Brad Rose machine, is it, that he uses? Oh, it is. I knew it. I knew it.
Everything is tools. It's not Brad Rose. I worked with Brad Rowe actually last year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Psychic, you see.
But I'm collecting my tools. I have a good solid coach now, and we got some experience under the belt.
Who's that?
Last year.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
Shelby Starnes.
Oh, Shelby. Oh, wow.
You know
I would say Shelby is probably, if you talk about best female coaches in the world, to my knowledge, Shelby is the number one.
Okay.
He's amazing. He's fantastic. I met him.
Does he work with Rosie too back in the day?
Yeah, they work together. But that guy gets incredible results, and he's very he's multi-dimensional. He's a bit different from your normal coach. I mean, is that true? Yeah.
He's very brainy.
Yeah.
That's what
I like the way he works. Also, he makes you feel like you're his only client.
Yes. Yes, that's what I've heard.
He always has time, and he's not about complicated things. If you take 1 gram of this and you do that, and you combine the chicken with the fish with the, he's just like, I mean, he can even just give me macros, and he's like, I mean, I'm a pro for many years. He's like, here's your macros, do what you want, and I'll figure it out, So
he's very much into the mental support and the mindset of an athlete, and that's where he kind of has a very, very good intuition to help that athlete bring out the best in themselves.
But Helle Trevino, obviously, she's one of the few bodybuilders that don't need that much of that in help, because what she did last year, but losing was the mother, or she lost her mother during her prep and came in her best ever. She's one of the bodybuilders that don't need that much mindset help. She needs other help. I don't know what it is, but you know what I mean? Like her mindset.
Well, I think for me, it's just an eye, like you said, I know myself, and I know the mind game, and I don't really need help with that.
Correct.
I'm more like, I feel like everyone should have a coach, even though you're a pro. I get sometimes people are like, oh, you're a pro and you have a coach. I'm like, heck yeah. I mean, look at the NBA. They have coaches. Like, look at it. They have coaches. And it's not because LeBron can't play. It's like,
you need someone on your ass, someone to be accountable to.
Giles, who's LeBron?
He plays with balls.
What's his last name?
LeBron.
You have no idea. Anyway,
Kevin LeBron.
Close, LeBron James, but very close.
Anyway,
I said LeBron James. You just didn't hear me.
I just feel like, somebody to be accountable for, and also when you get under pressure. I mean, like say being in my position, I'm the number one in the world and everybody's gunning for me. It's got to be at some point I'm going to feel the pressure. I'm going to feel the stress of, you know, being hunted and wanting to perform and wanting to bring my best. And am I going to bring my best? Am I doing the right things? And say like, you know, if I was doing my own prep, I know like I would be questioning myself. So if I sit all by myself and be like, oh, maybe I should do high carbs, maybe I should do lower carbs, maybe did I lose muscle, maybe I'm overdoing the cardio. I have a coach who is like sane, because I'll tell you guys, if you ever try to do a really hard diet and you've been on low carbs for a long time, you kind of lose your sanity a little bit. You know, you're not training, you're already training 5-6 hours a day on basically no fuel. And at some point, you're just not, your brain is not rational, because you're not getting energy to your brain to be rational. And then also, who can be objective about themselves?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think from 4 weeks out, from what I've experienced from my own competing and from what I've known speaking to bodybuilders, for the last 4 weeks, you can't even trust your own eyes. It's like your eyes and your mind will play tricks on you. So you might see something that other people do not. It's like when you're on the day of a show and you keep checking your abs because you're thinking, oh, my abs are going to disappear. And they're not going to disappear in half an hour. But in your mind, it becomes such a challenge to kind of overcome that. So you need a coach for that purpose.
Yeah. And also for with your emotions, you know, that's why you can be objective, because you have emotions. So you're starting to feel all sort of things when you get closer to the show. Like, you know, am I going to be in shape? Am I going to be good enough? I felt like last time I was more shredded than now. And you go back and you look at photos and you're like, am I where I need to be? And you fuck your brain up, you know? So that's good to have a coach, and he'd be like, there's somebody who says, I mean, I can be like totally calmed out if somebody just says, you're on track, you're right where you need to be, relax. And I'll be like, and, you know, and it's really important. Your mental health when you're performing is super important. Your brain needs to be on the right train track. Once you go, you know, nobody knows what can happen.
So this Miss Olympia, Giles, we're going to have Margie V with a little bit more upper body size.
Okay.
We're going to have Monique Jones with a little bit more leg size.
Whoa, okay.
We're going to have Iris Kyle, the return. Really? It's not confirmed. I'm just saying this is our dream scenario. We're going to have Irene Anderson in her best condition ever.
Yeah.
We're going to have the return of
Yaxine.
We don't know how that's going to look, but we used to know she's a competitor. So we won't know what it is. Have I lost anyone then?
Helle?
No, but that's the other girls now.
Okay. I feel like you've missed somebody out really
What does Helle Trevino needs to do to win that show, in your opinion?
Come on, Giles. He put you on the spot.
You got to duplicate that condition again.
And
I'd like to see a little bit more arm size in the front of my bicep. Tiny bit more bicep peak. That's it.
Yeah, I told her on private, whatever, that same condition, but more size.
just more size. Okay, well that's a cop out,
because that will be enough.
I like the detail and the conditioning though, and the way she presents her body.
But a little bit.
You always say that.
What's your plan? Because this is a big year.
Actually, I'm already working on my arms. Both my coach,
just to the front,
my posing coach Kenny Wallach, and myself, we agree on that my arms could be bigger.
Yeah, they're good. They're good in your side chest side. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got the veins coming up already. Yeah.
They look fantastic side.
I think they're getting bigger. Yeah. I mean, I get people at the gym. They're like, "Oh, your guns are looking big." So I'm like,
we can't forget
we can't forget. Yet, you know, there's still time. So I'm working on some more arm size.
Legs are fantastic.
Legs are fantastic.
Back's fantastic.
Pulsing is extraordinary. Feminine look is off the charts. Alina Popa also coming back.
Oh,
Respect to
Alina.
her.
Oh, wow.
Alina Popa, we forgot Alina Popa. She's coming back. So this will be for me as more of a female bodybuilding fan.
Yeah.
It's going to be more interesting than a 212 class.
It's going to be super.
For you, it is. Yeah,
For
yeah,
me,
yeah.
Of
What
course.
about Amazonka?
No, it's going to be super interesting. It
almost,
is.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's probably going to be one of the biggest shows ever. I mean, it was also interesting where we had the Kim Chivasky, Linda Murray era. You know? But it's been that was a long time. It was quite boring. But right now it's getting really interesting. I think also I think Iris will return, and I think this is really good for the sport in terms of just you know, just to hype it, like the interest factor just goes up, you know, because return of the champion, I mean, that's always, you know, it's like when Jordan returned, you know.
Jordan?
Do you know
Michael
Jordan?
Michael Jordan? No? The guy with the tongue out? And no?
It's always interesting. And the thing is, you know, I competed in the last Olympia era. But I was, at that time, I was upcoming. I wasn't as polished as I am now. I was still on my way and kind of a rookie. So now I have a completely different physique in the next Olympia than I had last time.
Okay.
And when I was competing against Iris Kyle, of course. My goal was to beat Iris Kyle. That's, you know, like people want to beat me. I wanted to beat her. So,
how old is Iris?
I'm not sure. Probably like mid-40s.
Oh,
so she's not that much older than some of you girls then?
No.
That's very rude.
I mean,
but
she still has the body. She's been training. So,
and it's going to be exciting, but there's going to be some haters there too, you know.
Well,
because she has been treated not always with the respect she should have. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, she has won 10 times, and
10
times.
That's like, this is like Ronnie or Jay coming back, isn't it?
That's
more than Jay. Jay 4 times. You can't compare 4 to 10.
But however, I do think everybody has their time, and now is my time. And,
it's my time now.
It's my time now. You know, she had her time, and I think it's really great if she comes back because that will give me the opportunity to beat her.
Especially if she looks as good as she's ever looked.
I mean, you know, my goal has been, you know, when I was competing at the Olympia, my goal was to win the Olympia, beat Iris Kyle. Then that both went out the window. So I won the Rising Phoenix. So next up for me is to win the Olympia and beat Iris Kyle. And that's been the goal for years. So I'm not intimidated of anything. I'm not scared of anything. I see it as a blessing. I'm an athlete. I like competition. I want to be able to win when there's the most competition, not when there's...
Chase the competition.
How was the score sheets between you and Margie, by the way, at the Rising? Have you seen it? Because I haven't seen it. Was it close, or how was that?
No, I won with all the judges.
Oh!
You went with all the judges?
Drop the mic.
All of the judges.
Clean first, straight first.
Okay, so that's a well-deserved win.
5-5-5.
Wow.
Clean score.
That's all you have to say then, really.
Yes, drop the mic.
So I'm in it to win it, and I'm not giving up the title. I believe that it's my time now, and I have a greater purpose than just win for my own purpose. I'm very much into, you know, women's empowerment, women's equality. I think society sucks that they think it's only men who should have muscles, and I hate being put in a box, and I don't see why women shouldn't be allowed to build muscles. I mean, if you guys knew how much shit we get on our social media,
we know.
I mean, there's people, every time you look different, you know, there's going to be people who hate it. There's going to be people who love it because you look so different out of the ordinary that people are going to be like, oh, I love it. You suck. It's too much. You know, you look like a guy or whatever. We get all that. But I just want to help in the long run, having people to be more used to seeing women with muscles and more people who are like, hey, it's kind of cool. Like, why shouldn't we have the same opportunities as men? I mean, yeah, we have the same opportunities as men to growing muscles. Of course, we will never be as big, obviously, because if you compare, Phil Heath to me, he's a man. He's going to be a lot bigger. But people go in and they compare me, who's the best in the world, with a regular guy who never worked out. I mean, the comparison is just not. Like, you can't compare a world-class tennis player with someone who never played tennis, So people got to understand that it's possible. Women should feel like the door is open for them, that if they want to have muscles, it's a choice. You should be able to choose being fat, being skinny, being muscular, however you want to look like, and not being judged upon it. And I hope in a world, maybe 10, 20 years down the line, hopefully sooner, that people will be like, hey, that's great. That's your choice. More power to you. I don't think I look like a man because I have muscles. Like, who invented the whole thing about if I look like a man, like, what does then? I don't know. I don't think I look like a man because most men, they don't look like me. I mean, on the street, like, I look better than them. And maybe that's the whole, they're whatever, intimidated or whatever. Well, it's not my problem. Go to the gym then,
You go to the gym.
I just have to be judged upon it. And I think for women in general, like, they shouldn't be judged and put down because they think muscle is beautiful. If you have a different opinion, fine, but don't go and harass me on social media and say I'm like a dude or a transvestite or whatever. I hate that shit, I'm like,
but look
why
at
are people so narrow-minded?
You got to look at the positive. Each time I look at these girls' Instagrams, they have at least 10 wedding anniversary. No, wedding, like, if you check on your Instagram, baby,
proposals.
I want to marry you. Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. So you get a lot of those, too.
It's just AJ posting 10 times.
Me and Kali marshmallows, aren't we? Yeah, bro. No, but you get a lot of positive things also. And we gotta look positive now, Trevino. We gotta go look in the forward. What it's called in the future. You're back at the Olympia. You are more involved with the meet. There's bodybuilding outlets now are promoting you at least a lot more than before.
Yes. I think what, the sport is heading in the right direction, and
Correct.
It wasn't to sound negative or anything. I'll get much more positive comments than I get negative comments.
Correct.
Yeah.
Focus on them.
Yes.
Still, like, there's still some stigma in society, and I'm just saying my quest is not just to win for myself, but win for women all over the world. That I want to make it just more common. Like, you want to build muscle? Yeah. Okay. Great. I think the whole, platforms that we have now with the internet, like, it's shooting up. It's getting more and more now. JB is getting a new channel, and we have JBL is getting a new channel. We have so many news stations like yourself, Maximum Muscle Report.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, we have so many news channels that are covering female bodybuilding, and the next thing is I see it on TV.
Well, first we got to get some open bodybuilders also on TV. It's not like the open bodybuilders on ESPN either. So
that should be the goal, though.
That should be the goal. Thank you for your time. We are really, really excited to follow your journey this year. It's going to be amazing. And for people who are interested in female bodybuilding, it's going to be the greatest year ever, isn't it?
Yes.
It's going to be the greatest year ever. I mean, guys, buy your tickets for the Olympia and the Rising Phoenix.
Phoenix.
It's going to be epic. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a battle of battles.
You know, the Americans are a little bit funky with the people getting to their country. Is there any way you're going to do any shows in Europe? So for us European fans to get our freak on. Are you coming to Europe?
I'll probably be in Europe
Romania Pro?
in the spring and doing some training seminars in Denmark.
No shows? Romania Pro, Prague Pro,
Portugal.
It's not decided yet. I think Wings of Strength will be at the FIBO again this year.
Okay.
But it's still like we are waiting for, they just had this ambassador program up. So, they got to pick out their ambassadors and they got to see, who's going where. But I signed up for the ambassador program as well. I want to be part of the sport as much as possible. I want to be at the shows, as many as possible. Last year I was at the FIBO, I was at the Chicago Pro, I was guest posing in Iraq.
Yeah, I remember that with Jeff Beckham, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. And also Rolly.
Rolly Winkler was there. Wow, Rolly is a big name, man. Jeff is our guy, but Rolly is...
That guest posing was huge. I mean, that's one of the best experiences I ever had. I was the first female bodybuilder ever guest posing in Iraq, and the audience went crazy.
Did you have the thing on your head? Did you have to wear the, what's it called?
No, not at all.
Oh,
not
no,
at all.
Didn't.
But I had to have security around me all the time because they were like crazy fans, like I was Rihanna.
Wow.
Like they would run to me and pull me, and they would take photos, and it was like we're talking about like hundreds of people. Like it's like I got run down. It's like
fantastic.
Yeah, it's like being a superstar.
Well, great to having you on, and we're excited for 2020.
I'm super excited. I'm over here working, and I'm ready to.
Are we going to see you at the Arnold Classic? Just there?
I don't know yet. I'm still like negotiating on contracts with sponsors, etc. So we're still beginning of the year, so things are still getting planned out.
Okay, then, Helle, always a pleasure. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen for you in 2020. Even if you could duplicate as good a year as 2019, I think that's going to be a pretty big achievement, isn't it? Really?
I agree.
Well, then there's the Olympia now, so it's quite
interesting.
Yeah. Okay, then, Helle. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Oh, you're on TikTok now. You're trendy now, huh?
Down with the kids.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
2019 Female Bodybuilder of the Year. Great representative for sport.
Absolutely, yeah. We like Helle, don't we? She's cool. Good
MD, supporting female bodybuilding, and we are
out. Okay, AJ, who have we got on our Global Muscle Star profile this week?
We got, for fans around the world, it's, people talk about men's physique and classic and all this. That's, no.
Sorry, clear my throat there.
That's all very, that's all very nice and fine. But, as bodybuilding fans, nothing gets us more excited than seeing freaks. So we have Nick the Walker.
The new freak on the block. Yeah.
Finally a freak.
Yeah, AJ's very excited. He likes the freaks, man. He likes the freaks.
So, a lot of people were talking about you. We saw your last show. You got second, a close second. Wasn't it?
USA's,
Yeah. Tell me more about you for fans, people around the world who don't know you. Tell me more about you.
Well, I'm Nick Walker. I'm 25 years old. I started competing when I was 17 years old. And each show, I gradually grew a weight class. I got bigger every year. I wasn't one to really compete, like do many shows back to back, year for year. I always did one show a year, made all the improvements I would need to make, and come back the following year with huge improvements. And I think that's what really set me apart from a lot of people as far as building a good platform. Because every year was just a big transition, and I always made drastic improvements year from year. So I think that helped set me apart from a lot of people. That, and next to my strength, would always go up drastically crazy. So, and I think that also helped me build a nice platform for people to know who I am as well.
You're working with Matt Jansen, a very, very well-known coach. How long have you worked with Matt for?
We started in September of 2018.
Okay.
Pretty
all
new.
the way up till right now so far.
Are you happy how that's going and how the gains you've been making?
Yeah, me and Matt have, besides him being my coach, we have formed a very great friendship together, a really good bond together, and that's something I will cherish forever between me and him. He's not just a good coach to me and all his athletes, but he likes to really form the good friendship with them and really get to know them, which is very rare, I think, to find in the industry. So I cherish that hugely from him.
You're 25 years old, so age is on your side, time is on your side. Are you in any rush really to get your pro card? Because you've gone to the USA's, which is one of the toughest places to get your pro card. I mean, you could easily go to a show, one of the NPC shows around the world, and you probably have a much better chance of getting your pro card and getting it quite easily. Yeah. So are you looking to get your pro card straight away, or are you just wanting to go and see how you fare and then just kind of take your time?
Oh, the goal is to get my pro card. Like me and Matt had it set out to win USA's together. And of course, that didn't go as we planned. So now our goal is to win North Americans. I mean, since we started together, I've told him I wanted my pro card and I wanted it fairly quickly. And he agreed that me and him could get it very quickly at the physique that I had already. So I've done 3 national shows, and I did USA's in 2016, where I took 6th, and I did North Americans in 2017. I also got 6th.
22, 23 years old. 22. Sorry to interject. That's like 22, 23 years old, man. That's incredible.
Can you give us the stage numbers? How much did you weigh? Because you were really young then.
Okay, so actually at USA's in 2016, I was a light heavyweight.
Okay.
At North Americans 2017, I was a heavyweight.
Yeah.
And then that same year, I didn't feel I was at my best at all.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of redeem myself. So I did nationals that same year in 2017, and I got 6th again, but I was about 15 pounds heavier, give or take. And then 2018, I didn't compete. And then 2019, me and Matt had a good long off season. The rest of 2018, 2019, I had to requalify, so I had to do another qualifier, which I won. And then we took 2nd at USA's together. So I feel with the progression I've made, even from 2017, 2019, I feel 2020 will be my year. So
at the USA's, when you took 2nd, what was your height and weight?
5'7", and I believe I weighed in at 240.
Yeah, that's pro numbers, huh?
That's pro number. That is pro numbers. Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember. I'm trying to think when I saw your pictures. It would have been in 2019, and I was just like, "Holy shit, we got a new guy to follow now." It's just, I mean, obviously, social media must be huge because it's just so it's so refreshing to see guys like yourself, young, hungry. And you're working with a good coach and you're taking good placings and it's like if you didn't get your pro card last, you're going to get it soon. It's not like you're going to be waiting 10 years to get your pro card. So it's always good to see the new guys like yourself coming up, and the future.
For sure.
The future, you're the future,
Who was your inspiration coming into the game? What type of physiques do you like?
My favorite physique was the first person I saw was Jay Cutler.
Okay.
So I remember when I first started lifting, when I was around 13, 14 years old, was when my head started, going toward watching bodybuilders, and he was the first one I saw. And I said, that's exactly how I want to look. And then I discovered who Dorian Yates was. Then I became a huge Dorian Yates fan, and I liked the way he trained, his intensity. And the guys like that, like even like Luke Sandow, people like that, like I like the way they train. They train hard, they train intense, and that's it.
I'm just thinking a training video with Luke and Nick would be very cool.
Oh, JP.
Oh, Jordan Peters. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Peters and Nick. That would be game over.
God.
Yeah.
I just hope the gym would have enough weight.
When you were 13, 14, were you bigger than the other kids at that age? And stronger, or?
Yeah. Like even when I graduated high school, I was probably a little shorter than I am now, and I was like 230 pounds.
In decent condition, or?
Yeah, I mean, I was in pretty good shape. I mean, I wasn't like how I am now, but I was for 17 years old. Yeah, I was pretty good shape.
Wow.
Holy shit. Wow, okay.
So when are you going to start prepping for your next show?
I think me and Matt, we're planning on starting right after the Arnold.
Okay.
Okay. So what
So I got some more little growing time to do.
are you just shooting for the USAs, or are you maybe going for? Oh, you're doing North American. Sorry.
North Americans, yeah.
So if that doesn't go to plan, maybe the USAs or the Nationals, because I think you really should be getting your pro card.
This first show is going on plan, Giles.
2020, you got to get his pro card.
No, but he's going to do it on the first attempt this time, Nick, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the goal is North Americans. That's all my mind's on.
Yeah.
But that being said, if it doesn't go as planned, I will do nationals.
Okay.
If you turn pro in one of these shows, do you want to start competing right away and see where you are, or are you the type of bodybuilders who want to take some time off and improve a little bit more? What's your...
Actually, depending on how North Americans goes, me and Matt talked, I would like to do a pro show right off the bat, just to see how I will place, and then that will determine my next move.
I like that type of going straight into it.
Well, that seems to be more the fashion nowadays in pro bodybuilding. You know, it's especially with these young guys that are that big and that good at that young. It's like, why waste any time? Why waste any time?
Yeah.
You know,
that's how I feel. It's like if you think you're ready for the pro stage, why wait? Just jump into one, see how you place, and then go from there on what improvements you need to make, and then come back better.
Yeah, AJ, I'm excited.
And also at 5'7" and 240. Remember, William Bolnack is what, 5'7", 235?
No, he's 225 at the Olympia.
I'm just saying. So the weight, the stats are there. You know, we just needs the condition perfect, and we'll see where it's. Well, Nick, we just wanted you on because we are starting like the best amateur talent in the world, and we look as you as definitely one of them.
When we discussed it, we made a list of names, and you were in the top 5. So.
Yeah. It's like this is. We're excited to see you. To see you on stage. And where can people follow you?
They can follow me on my Instagram, which is Nick_Walker39.
Fantastic.
Are you with Revive too? With Matt? Is that Matt Johnson?
Yes, I am sponsored by Revive as well.
Yeah,
that's
fantastic.
They got
great.
some great products, don't they?
Yes. I love all their products.
Which is your favorite product to use of them?
There's too many to pick just one. If I had to pick a top 3, I would go with the kidney, the liver, and the digest aid.
Oh, that's important.
Very important. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, then, Nick. Well, I just want to give you a bit of a feature here and get your name out there because people are talking about you, mate. And there's a lot of eyes going to be on you in 2020, mate. So
it's Nick the Mutant, isn't it?
I appreciate you guys having me on. It means a lot.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Nick.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.